This is a short midweek devotion from the United Methodist Church in Littleton, Illinois. This video was recorded along the banks of the Illinois River. As children, my brother and I grew up camping along the banks of that river. Now, our children and grandchildren are doing the same. We've just had a wonderful weekend in our family. It was a holiday weekend. We had a 3-day weekend. It was the start of fall. The weather's beautiful. We had a family reunion. Got to meet family or visit with family we haven't seen for a long time. And all 3 of our kids came home. So we went camping on the river. You know, when our kids were young, our weapon of choice for punishing wayward little boys and girls was a medieval device that we called the timeout chair. I don't know how it worked exactly, but it brought a response. Now, there wasn't anything to the timeout chair. It didn't plug into the wall. It didn't have batteries. It didn't have any sharp parts or sharp blades or points that could hurt a little child. It basically, the only moving part in it, you had to do manually with your feet because it was a little rocking chair and it was only about so big. But it worked. Don't know why. Think it was something psychological or maybe nerves, tender nerves in the behind section or something. But it always brought a response. One of our kids, the response was always pretty much, and he'd just sit there and look at us with his meanest look until it was time to get up. Another one of our children was like a whack-a-mole game in an arcade. It was like pop up, push down, pop up, push down, pop up, push down. And whatever it was, by the time the timeout was over, the parent was as tired as the kid. And now our third kid probably was the most sensitive to it. I mean, you didn't even have to put her in the timeout chair. You could put one of her brothers in the timeout chair and she would cry. Don't know why. I also don't know how it works, and I don't know why it doesn't work the same on adults. But it doesn't. I think it may be that we have more padding in our posterior area than the children, so that raw nerve, whatever it is, just doesn't hit quite the same. But honestly, I could be doing something wrong. Oh, messing up around the house or not cleaning like I should, or I don't know, being lazy, or I could just be doing something and you could come to me. This is no kidding. You could come to me and you could point your finger and you'd say, okay, Buster, I've had enough of that. You get in the corner right now in that rocker recliner of yours, and I don't want to see you out of there for 20 minutes. And at the end of the 20 minutes, you know what I would be thinking? I wouldn't feel punished. I'd be thinking, what do I have to do for another 20 minutes? So I don't think it works the same on adults. Well, it may not work in adults, but I've kind of got to thinking that it might work on Christians. Don't know what there is about a Christian that might be different from a regular, average, everyday adult, but maybe nothing. But it just seems that the timeout idea works. It could be you're having a really crummy week. There could be something hanging over your head that is really big and really scary, and you don't think you can handle it. You could be feeling under the weather. You could be having a rough time. You could be frightened about something. You could be nervous about something. You could have a big decision in front of you. And the idea, or it may just be a regular sunny day like this, and the idea of locking yourself in a room alone with God, without any TV, without any radio, without any noise, for 20, 30, 40, 45 minutes, it's just like sitting a little kid in a timeout chair. Your mind just thinks of all these other things that you could be doing. You have to have something to keep you busy. It's hard for us to pray or meditate or just sit quiet for a long amount of time and listen to God and wait for answers to come to our problems. Today we're looking at Psalm 46. I'm just going to point this camera over there toward that train trestle and then just read Psalm 46 to you. I don't want you to be disturbed by anything. I want you to turn down anything in the background except just my voice reading this. And I want you just to listen to it. And while you're listening to it, think about the giants, the hurdles, the big monsters in your life right now. And just realize that God is God. Okay? Shut the door if you need to. Don't read anything on the side. You're in timeout right now until I'm done reading the song. Okay, let's begin with Psalm 46, a psalm about God's defense of his city and people. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble with its tumult. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of the city. It shall not be moved. God will help it when the morning dawns. The nations are in an uproar. The kingdoms totter. He utters his voice. The earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come, behold the works of the Lord. See what desolations he has brought on the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I am exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. So how did you do? I don't know the background of that song, of that Psalm 46, but I do know that it itself is the background for Martin Luther's famous hymn, "A Mighty Fortress is Our God." And in the King James Version and Revised Standard Versions and a few others, it says, "Be still and know that I am God." There's so much value in a moment of quietness, just in the arms of God when we are going through a rough time. By the way, the same is true when we're not going through a rough time. Well, we have a few days left before we come together again on Sunday to worship our Lord. So how about trying to find just a little bit of time in each of these days where you can do a timeout, time, and take time and spend it with our Lord. Not in anything big studious, just in quiet, listening and waiting on him to speak to you. Just a few minutes each day. It could make a big difference. So let's together, with God's help, be still and know that he is God.